Now, y'all know B. Tatum got to tell the truth about this. This video is brought to you by TATUMREPORT.com, TATUMREPORT.com. Get the link in the description section. Also, the video associated with this gonna be on TATUMREPORT.com because y'all know I can't post it on here. They're gonna flag us. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the join button so you can join the Tatum squad. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, another situation where people are being disingenuous. So now B. Tatum have to come out and I have to articulate to you very clearly what really went on in Daniel Prude case. This wasn't a case of suffocation by police officers. This wasn't a case of police brutality and the black man is always. This is a case of a guy who was mentally ill, high on PCP, and ended up dying from what we consider to be excited delirium. Excited delirium. That's what this is. But people don't want to keep it real because they got a narrative to push. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the top. Mr. Daniel Prude, and I know they want to make him out to be, oh, he was changing his life and he was doing it, and arrested 37 times. You have to be living a life of perpetual criminal behavior for you to be arrested 37 times. 37 arrests. So this guy is no rookie to police involvement. This guy is no saint. And it's reasonable to believe that he got into a situation that necessitated him to be negatively involved with police. You could disagree with me if you want to. I don't care. 37 arrests. I think he had 8 convictions. And when you look at it, 8 convictions, when they're looking to throw cases out every single day, whether you're right or wrong as a police officer, they throw this stuff out. They let people plead. They do all kind of stuff. That's why I don't believe in this lie that the social justice system, or not social justice system, but the criminal justice system is against black people. That's a lie. That's a lie. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of other factors. I'll make another video. Anyway, let's get back to Daniel Prude. At the time that this happened, I just want to put this in perspective. Right before this happened, this man, Daniel Prude, went crazy. And I think it was because of the PCP, not because he was some innocent man with mental illness. It probably was because he was using drugs. I got people in my family that use drugs, so I know what it is. Probably was using drugs. He was so bizarre with one of his family members that he ended up having to move with his brother, who's the guy on the news crying and being fake, in my personal opinion. Not the crying, but being fake about his character and what the police did. Anyway, in a report, it says that his brother had claimed that he believed that Daniel Prude was high on PCP and he was acting erratically, to the point in which he was throwing himself down headlong downstairs and screaming and acting crazy and being bizarre, to the point where they committed him to a mental health facility, facilitated by police. Now, I'm telling you, police took him. They don't want to say it because police normally do that. They'll take you to the facility and get you help. It was according to body-worn camera and police reports. So you know the police did it. Now, they ain't going to talk about it because this is a positive interaction with the police actually getting him the help he needed the first time. He gets out because the mental health facility don't hold nobody for nothing. And it probably was because he was on drugs and he's not really mentally ill. Now, they let him out. He goes out. He's at his brother's house acting a fool again, acting a plumb fool, to the point where his brother was afraid. He left, came back, did some other crazy stuff that his brother ended up calling the police to come back and assist because there's no way he can control him. He thought the guy was dangerous and high on PCP. Interact with the police officers. Now you'll see it in the video that I shared on TATUMREPORT.com. You'll see in the video, he was bucket naked. He was bucket naked, man. That man ain't got no clothes on. And during this time, it was snowing outside in New York. He ain't got no clothes on. He bucket naked on the ground. They handcuffed him. He originally was cooperating. Then he began to get crazy, telling them he wanted their gun so he can do you know what to you know who, yelling, talking about Jesus, all kind of stuff. Similar to how people act when they're high on PCP. Then he began to spit. They put what they call a spit sock on the guy's head. Now, a spit sock is, you can see clean through a spit sock. You can breathe clean through a spit sock. It's a lot thinner than, you know, what people will wear right now on the COVID mask. It's a lot thinner than that. When you spit, it's supposed to block the spit from directly hitting somebody's face. It's not doing completely block liquid from coming out. Now, they put the thing on his head because it was a spit risk. He had already alluded to the fact that he had the 19. You know what I'm saying? He had the 19. And then they don't know what other communicable diseases he probably have. So him being a threat, they got to put that on his head. That's not just a police thing. They do it in the medical facility as well. So it is something that's not a problem. They do it all the time, and nobody has ever died from a spit sock on their head. Now, they put the spit sock on his head. He began to be more and more bizarre. When a person is acting erratically, like he is, high on drugs, you have to control the person. You control the person by the head. Everybody knows you can control a person by controlling the upper part of their body, which is the head. When you leverage the head, the body will follow. So they was holding his head down, pressed down on the ground with his head to the side, not face down in the ground, but his head to the side, pressing his head against the concrete so he don't bang his head on the ground and he don't move his body around. Very simple, very pragmatic. It happens all the time. They not had their elbow on his head and crushing his head to the ground. That's not what happened. Not one time did he complain on the video that I saw. Not one time did he complain he couldn't breathe of the such. The other officer had his knee on his back, right on the shoulder. The other guy was holding his head down to protect him until the medical staff got there to restrain him because he's completely lost his mind on drugs. Now at one point in time, sorry, do it again. Now, at one point in time, it looked like he threw up. The officer alluded to the fact that it looked like it was water. There's a potential that he could have choked on his own, throw up, and put him in a negative position. Ladies and gentlemen, he did not die on that day. 7 days later, he passed away in the hospital, not in police custody. So I don't know how they blaming the police on this, but whatever. He ended up, looked like he went unconscious or he fell asleep or whatever the case may be. Now, there is a part in the video where officers were joking and laughing and doing different things related to what the gentleman was going through. I can see how people can be upset with that, but let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Anybody in the military, anybody that's nursing, anybody that's a police officer, when I say nursing, meaning that you're in the medical field, or anybody that's in any position like that deal with trauma, you joke, you make fun of people, you do it all. You know, that's a way to divert stress. Everybody with a brainstem understands that. And you're going to joke with a man that's buck naked, running around, screaming and yelling all this crazy stuff high on PCP. It's funny. Now, his family may not think it's funny, but I think that's why officers should act with a certain level of decorum because they know they're being videotaped. And if somehow he dies, do you want this plastered all over the news? Anyway, back to the subject at hand. People may have a problem with that. That is what it is. Did that kill him? No, it did not. So I don't have an issue with that. And I did it all the time. I used to joke about people all the time. Let's move on. So people may have a problem with that. But beyond that, there is no unequivocal evidence that the police were directly responsible in his death. Now, the autopsy is very sketchy to me because there's a concept called excited delirium, which is exactly what he went through. And then also they said from some type of a suffocation. None of that had anything to do with what the police officers did. He died 7 days later in the hospital. Now, excited delirium. Let me explain this real quick because I don't want to take too much of your time. Excited delirium is a very simple concept. I think George Floyd suffered from excited delirium. And on the autopsy, Daniel Prude suffer from excited delirium. Excited delirium is when you're on the upper, like you're on PCP, you're on methamphetamine, and your heart rate goes out of the roof. You become superhuman. You got all this strength. Your adrenaline is rushing, and you begin to crash. Similar to, like a snack, like a sugar crash or a coffee crash. You take it, you begin to crash. But only in excited delirium, you begin to crash until you go into cardiac arrest. That's exactly what happened to this gentleman. He began to crash. When you watch the video on TATUMREPORT.com, he began to crash all the way down to where I think he either went unconscious or he went to sleep. One of the two. When you get to that point, you begin to crash down to where you go into cardiac failure. That's exactly what happened to a lot of people. That's why they come to the concept, because that absolves police officers of responsibility, given the fact that they cannot medically treat you on the street when you've ingested PCP. Now, people need to understand these things. Therefore, you have a better look on reality when it comes to these cases. Now, overall, I don't think that the police officers were responsible for his death. Could there be some things they could have done better? Yeah, let's evaluate that and let's partner on figuring out how we can make things better. He was 100% responsible for his choices because it was high on PCP. This wasn't the average black man that got gunned down or hurt because he was racist white cops. There was black cops on the scene as well. So the whole narrative is complete bullcrap. It's bullcrap. That's why B. Tatum had to clarify. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. Am I wrong? Am I off? Or am I on to something? Comment in the comment section. Visit TATUMREPORT.com, TATUMREPORT.com, where you can watch the full video because y'all know they're going to throw it off on here. You can watch the full video there. And for all you Trump supporters out there, if you want to support the president, you want to be updated, I got two things for you. One, you can be updated via text. Text Tatum to 88022, 88022, 88022. Text Tatum to that number. Also, in the description section, you can go down, hit the link, download the Trump app. It's a Trump campaign app. This is Trump official stuff. This ain't no sidebar stuff, third-party stuff. This is official from the Trump campaign. You get updates and all that cool stuff. If you're interested, it's in the comment section. Like, subscribe to this channel. Y'all know what it is. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.